Hi everyone, welcome to another pick a card video on my YouTube channel. My name is Julie Ann Fay, and on this channel, I usually point. On this channel, I do pick a card videos at the new and full moons. They go out along with my email newsletter, which I release at new and full moons. So definitely make sure you're signed up for that. You can sign up at julieannfay.com. And it's the best way to stay up to date with my latest blog posts that I've written, specials that I've got going on, just new business updates. Of course, the pick a card videos get released first in the email newsletter, and all kinds of good stuff. So definitely check that out. And I'm excited to get into this pick a card for you guys. My lighting might be a little bit different because my ring light is not working. So I've got a different light going on, and it's got definitely a different vibe. I kind of like it, but it is a little different for me. And I have a feeling that has to do with some of this eclipse energy. But overall, I will say that this new moon in Sagittarius so far has been a very strengthening and enlightening one for me personally. This particular new moon in Sag is like super close to my natal Saturn. It's actually within like 2 degrees of my Saturn. So I was eyeing this one up a few months ago to see what could come from this. And I have to say that it has been the really positive manifestations of Saturn for me, about really just a lot of hard work that I've done over a long time. And in particular, as it relates to Saggy energy, which is around spirituality and also just lived life experiences. There's been a lot that's been coming up for me recently with being acknowledged and recognized for my knowledge and just the experiences I've had, which means so much to me because, I'm several years out from my Saturn return, but studying astrology is really, it's always helping me all the time. And definitely I'm still unpacking new layers of my Saturn, placement. And I think that that is something all of us do go throughout our entire life. But it's a little bit easier if you have Saturn in a more predictable sign, I guess you could say, So if you were born with Saturn in Capricorn, or even like the cardinals, the cardinal signs, I mean, so Saturn in Capricorn, Saturn in Cancer, Saturn in Libra, Saturn in Aries, you might know very clearly the direction that your Saturn is trying to take you in. Whereas if you have Saturn in a mutable sign like I do, Sag, it's in Sag, if you have Saturn in Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, then your work focus, your karmic work, the area in your life in which you need to apply effort might take on many different faces and have changing formats, So it can be a little trickier because Saturn likes you to kind of pick something and commit to it and work on it. And in particular, Saturn in Sagittarius, which I have, is a lot about being a little bit of a maverick when it comes to work and working and doing multiple different types of things, being almost like exploratory with your work. And it certainly has a really strong spirituality and mentorship bent to it. So yeah, it's been a very interesting time for me, this new moon. And of course, as I always like to remind everyone that watches my videos, remember that when we have a new or full moon, it does take us 2 weeks to fully integrate the energy of what that one was about. So we are now closing the chapter on the last new full moon cycle we had, which was the full moon at the end of Taurus, right? At the very end of Scorpio season. So we're now closing that out and we're going into much more of this Sagittarius energy now. So yeah, and overall Sagittarius is a very buoyant energy. It's kind of like hot air balloon energy in that way, because it's like bouncy fire, if you will. It's a lot about enthusiasm and optimism and seeing the bigger picture. So you might be noticing that some of your passion, some of your energy feels more revitalized with this energy coming in. Now, certainly with the eclipse energy attached to it, that can make things a little bit like left, right, and sideways. But overall, I will say, like, so far I've been experiencing this particular new moon as a very positive one so far, and we will have a lot that's going to be happening in December. I will talk about this in December's Astro Fairy, which if you're in Astro Fairy, I'm recording that video very soon and it's coming out. We did have content for this week, so make sure you rewatch that if you missed it. And yeah, but lots more coming up in December, and especially as we get to the end of December and in the new year. And if you're not familiar, Astro Fairy is my monthly membership group. I have a monthly membership group for astrology, and then I have one for cards. And I also have the option to join both at a combined discount. And they're really affordable membership groups. You get access to a private Facebook group. You get a set discount rate, a percentage off any private readings you do with me. You of course get the content, monthly content, and you get also journaling prompts as well. So it's a really great experience if you do want to go deeper. I also, and I've been doing a shout out to this and I will continue to do so. I also launched a Patreon, and my membership groups are actually on my Patreon. So if you want to join directly through Patreon, you can do it there. I've also got a tier called Give Back Fairy, which is a really low, just like $5 a month, I believe it's set at, and you can contribute there to help support my channel. That really, really helps me a ton. To be able to afford new supplies, like a better a better ring light, and just like things break, things happen. And of course, it's helping me also to be compensated for my time and my talents in putting these videos together, which take hours and hours of work. So please spread the word, look into giving back in that way. It's so important that we support small businesses and content creators, and that is a wonderful way to do so. So with that being said, I'm going to show you guys the decks that I'm using. I'm going to be trying something new, which is linking in the description direct to the extent that I can remember doing it. But I'd like to really start linking in the description the direct links to some of these decks that I use, just as a heads up. And I will put this little disclaimer every time I do it, hopefully. That's the goal. I am an Amazon affiliate, so clicking that link does support my spiritual business, but it's at no additional cost to you. It's just the fact that you click through my link, and that does help me get a very, very small, over time, very small kickback that does support my spiritual business, and that helps me a lot. So if you are looking to buy these decks, please feel free to do so by clicking my link, and it will help support me. So the decks that I'm using for this particular pick a card, and as I said, things are changing sometimes on a dime, so I might change these up, but I've got Goddess Guidance cards by DV. We've got Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. We've got this very obscure and lovely deck called Fairy Tarot by Natalia Hertz, which I got in my travels. Love that one. And we've got Angel Answers by DV and Radley Valentine, which, as you can see, are extremely worn out. In fact, I'm in a position where I want to replace this with the updated one. So I kind of want to retire this deck. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that, because I want to figure out how to get about that. And then I've got the Wisdom of the Trees Oracle cards as well. And I do also have my bag of runes and little various other bits and bobs in there. I also may be trying something new for you guys to see the pile picks. I don't want to say it just yet because I'm going to queue it up and I want to make sure it works. But if it does, then that'll be really awesome, something to just kind of add to the experience of doing a pick card on my channel. I do want to do a shout out, of course, to my Patreon, as I did. I also want to do a shout out to one of my reading types, which now would be a really good time to explore doing, and it's called Solstice Ahead reading. So in that reading, it's with cards, and what I do is I look at the next 6 months ahead from the winter solstice up to the summer solstice. I give you kind of a focus energy for each of the months there leading between that solstice to the next solstice. So if you're in Fearlessly Fairy, you can apply your discount. If you're in Give Back Fairy, you can apply your discount. If you're in All Inclusive Fairy, where you have access to both, you can apply your discount there. So definitely that will also be advertised in my email newsletter, so you can check out more details about it there. But this would be a great time to do it, and then of course I do also do for the full year, like a year ahead spread, which is more costly, but a really, really fun and exciting way to look at what's coming up in the year ahead. And then I've got another spiritual curriculum that will be coming out very soon. I was hoping to get it ready for now, but it still needs a little bit more added to it, but it should be coming out super, super soon. And that also does relate to doing some reflecting on the year and moving forward into the new year. So with that, I'm going to queue up the 3 piles off camera and I will be right back. Okay, so I do have this new setup. It took a long time, longer than I would have liked. So I don't know if I'll be doing this for every pick a card video, but definitely in the new spiritual curriculum / mini course that I'm releasing, I will be using this because it really will be helpful with that. So can't guarantee I'll always use it for a pick a card video like this one, but I do have it set up right now, so we'll see how it goes. So as is always the case, I encourage you all to make sure that you're in a calm and centered place when you're doing this pick a card, right? Pick a card videos are best done as a complement to just awareness and guidance about the vibe that you're at right now. I watch lots of pick a card videos myself, and I always use them as a reflection tool. You know, what am I energetically matching to right now, right? And pick a cards are a wonderful resource for that. So they're not really like the end all be all. They're just a reflection of vibrationally what is in your attunement, if you will. Vibrationally, what do you have going on? You know, maybe it is kind of going on at a more subconscious level. Pick a cards are wonderful for bringing that to the surface. And definitely in pick a cards, we can receive guidance that our guides are trying to get through to us, but maybe we've had difficulty accessing, and pick a cards can be a wonderful resource to do that. So just as you would approach any other ritual like meditation or automatic writing, pick a card videos should be treated with the same level of reverence, especially when they're done in the way to serve as a spiritual teaching. And, you know, the way I do them, you know, some people do them very differently and they're like heavy on the forecasting. I like to be more of like a spiritual teacher because that's the way my work is represented. And I am a former teacher, so that just weaves into the whole story. But, you know, take time to take a couple deep breaths. And just really center yourself, pick up a favorite crystal, a cup of tea, and just get into a calm and receptive place. And from that space, do your pile pick. If you're feeling like rushed or anxious or like you don't know which pile to pick, sometimes it's just not the right time. So set this video aside and come back later. Or maybe you need to kind of listen to a combo of 2 piles. Sometimes that happens to me. And you can use your hand as an intuitive tool to help you make the decision about which pile. You can use the timestamps down below to help you pick just straight from that. Or you can just, as I'm showing you the different piles, listen clairaudiently for which pile jumps out to you. Now, normally, those of you that are OGs on my channel, you know that usually I hold up the different piles. And to be honest, I do enjoy doing it that way because you get like the full experience of that energy there. But I have invested in this new special kind of camera that lets me kind of show you guys the spreads on my desk here. So I'm actually going to switch to that camera. Fingers crossed it works because I was setting it up just before. But this should let you guys, the quality is not quite the same as my other camera, so you may notice a little difference there. I can't do anything about that. But these are the 3 piles. Okay, so we've got pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3 here, and I have put 3 different crystals next to them. So go ahead and take a minute and just intuitively pick which pile you're most drawn to. And I'm going to switch back to my regular camera. I know lots and lots of pick a card readers do their card readings facing down, showing the cards. I have experimented with that and it's just not my bag. I have Leo, I'm a Virgo, really strong Virgo with Libra in my chart. Most of you that know me know that because I'm always like sharing deets about my chart, but my midheaven, my work and career space is in Leo. So part of my work is being seen. And I think that comes from just so many lifetimes where I wasn't seen. So it's actually part of my kind of purpose this time around to be seen. And sometimes like I don't want to be seen, I'll be honest. But it's part of, you know, what I'm also going through this lifetime. So for me, I really enjoy being one-to-one with the camera and teaching you guys that way. But this can be a powerful way to just get a quick glance at the 3 different piles. And then I don't have to be like kind of holding my hand up while I'm showing you them. So let me know how you liked it. Again, I can't do anything about the change in quality. I did invest in getting this particular thing. So, but this is an HD kind of webcam situation I've got going on. So they're different things entirely. However, I will be making use of this for the new mini course / spiritual curriculum that I've got coming out soon, where you guys can see different spread types. So stay tuned for that. So with that being said, it feels weird because I'm like not holding up each individual pile as I usually do. I'll do that just really quickly for those of you that, you know that's the usual way I do it. But this is the energy of pile 1. This is the energy of pile 2. And feel free to also, you know, I'd be curious which way you guys like as well when you're picking your pile. And this is the energy of pile 3. My preference is to kind of hold them up. However, I'm not opposed to doing this for just like a short little stint like that. So with that being said, I'm going to roll into the energy of pile 1, and I will see you guys at your pile pick. Bye. All right, pile 1 peeps. These are the cards for you. Actually, I'm missing one there. So you guys picked, actually, this is my new rhodonite, tumbled rhodonite. So this is all about heart healing and a lot with the heart chakra, releasing old emotional pain, okay? It's a beautiful crystal. I'm really, really obsessed with rhodonite lately. And this is a very beautiful piece. I love rhodonite too because it, to me, really represents, this is another piece of rhodonite. This is like my main squeeze right now. And I love rhodonite because it really just gives us a very realistic representation of the heart chakra. Very few of us, if any, maybe like a newborn baby has no scars on their heart. But even still, you can bring in things from past lives. I think all of us go through things where we have things that wound us, that kind of transform us. We are not quite the same again emotionally, you know, because of the experiences we went through. So I love rhodonite because it has those kind of darker marks on it mixed in with the pink, and it has even some yellow in really good pieces. It just brings in the various components that go along with heart healing, which is root chakra work and solar plexus work. So I love rhodonite as a really representative crystal for, you know, that experience. So let's see what we've got for you guys. So I could attempt to show you guys this on the camera. I don't know if I want to do that though, because I'm thinking about it. I'm creating it as I'm talking to you all. So let me see. If I do that, I'm going to have to find space for these two, which I probably can do. Just don't want to mix up the two. All right, let's see. Let me see. I might show it to you that way and then switch back to this camera so I can actually talk about things. But it is pretty cool to see them kind of like unveiled in live time. I admit, it's pretty cool. All right, so let's see how we do. Just bear with me because this is new. All right, so this was pile 1. Okay, so let's see what we've got. Okay. Might be a little bit of funky lighting going on here. All right, so I'm going to switch back over here. And let's get into it. So I don't know how to feel about using it. I think I'm also just a rebel, and I really don't want to be like everyone else. And every pick a card reader does their videos that way because it's sure as heck easy to just like not show your face and just, you know, and all respect to people that do it that way. It's just not my bag. my spiritual business is very much meant to be like, here I am, world, you know, so it's just like doesn't resonate with me. But we have for you guys, I do need to get clarification from these two tree cards here, but in fact, let me actually pull another fairy tarot because I kind of have a message trying to emerge here, but it's not really emerging. So let's see what we got. Clarifier for pile 1, peeps, please. All right. So we have, okay, we have 4 of Swords, 6 of Pentacles, and the King of Wands here, okay? So it's interesting because initially we had King of Wands, okay? And I know the lighting is a little bit different. King of Wands with the Resistance card. So there's something here that's wanting to emerge for you in terms of having personal power and a sense of like commanding your personal authority. But there is also simultaneously this slight like, I don't know, you know, there might be like thought patterns going on of like, I don't know if I can keep up with that. I don't know if I can handle it. There might be some kind of behind the scenes, underneath the surface, resistance to the fact that you could be in this level of personal power. And if you look in this card, the guy is in the forest and he's there with like a wild boar, you know, so it's almost like this energy, and he's not an old man, but he's definitely like an older man that's like more wizened, you know. So this could also be the energy of potentially for some of you with Resistance and this card, there could be this male that does carry this like strong, passionate energy, but perhaps for whatever reason has resistance and is not aligning with you right now or coming forward right now. That could be a message for some of you, okay? And with this 4 of Swords and 6 of Pentacles here, the advice would be to kind of give it a break, give it a bit of a rest, and wait for a better give and take of energy, a better reciprocation of energy, okay? That's definitely a message for some of you, not all of you. I think for others of you, I mean, and both things can be true as well, right? For others of you, it could be that you're trying to tap into this level of personal authority and power, okay? But there's still some resistance there for you. And that could be because maybe the resistance comes from the fact that you're kind of hot and cold with this project or this initiative that you're trying to take charge of with the 4 of Swords here. And that resistance is like, sometimes I'm in, sometimes I'm out. I'm into it, no, I'm not, that kind of vibe. With the 6 of Pentacles, it's saying that look for when your energy feels more balanced and then kind of continue to move forward. So you might want to do some work on balance here. You know, literally you could do balance exercises. There's definitely yoga you can do to help you with balance. This could be also working on balancing like your finances or just even balancing your emotions, because if you're too much on the side of like anger and intense anger and, you know, just bitterness, it's not really always going to help you to try to feel like you're in control of a particular project or situation. And conversely, if you're feeling really despondent and really sad, you're in the opposite end of that spectrum, or maybe you feel powerless and you feel apathetic. So then it could be saying that you need to kind of do something to bring you back to more of the middle, where you feel like you're more able to tackle these challenges and these problems. So this is definitely a vibe of raise your vibe and then get back into the person, place, or thing, okay? And I do think it's a little bit more about the side of empowerment, because we have remain positive here from Angel Answers. And we also have the Sacred Space card, which is about working with a dedicated section that's maybe an altar for you, a place where you can just privately meditate. You might even have some spiritual books there, a candle, some crystals, but just cultivating this space where it's almost like a no worry zone, you know, where I remember Radley Valentine saying at one point that he had like a worry chair, and anytime he sat in that chair, he was like not allowed to worry. So if he found himself like over stressing and over worrying, he'd go sit in the chair where it's like, that's just the one space where I have to shed the worries behind and just like focus on other things. So getting this dedicated space where it's like your worry chair, where you go and you shed those feels, and then of course, like, you know, they're going to creep back up, but just for that time and space, whether it's meditation or guided visualization or even just reading a spiritual text or working with a crystal, that's a space in which you are just unplugging and cultivating this higher vibe, okay? And then we do have here from the Oracle of the Trees, we have juniper. Juniper berry is a wonderful essential oil. I actually was working with it a lot today myself. And then we have acacia. So let me see what this is from the guidebook. So juniper. Okay, so juniper. Juniper gave a message: I have strong connections with the spirit world and I can protect you when you want to contact those realms. I will act as benevolent intermediary, so call on me whenever you need my protection and guidance. For centuries, the juniper has been regarded in many cultures as one of the trees that act as gatekeepers between the mortal and spiritual worlds, keeping them apart and guarding against evil influences. It was common practice to leave gifts for local nature spirits at the base of juniper trees. Juniper berries have many uses. Their bitter flavor is an essential ingredient in gin, and they're also used in sauces and stuffings. They have powerful healing qualities too, especially for kidney and urinary problems. I will say that the kidneys are related to the energy of Libra. Okay, so this is a lot about balance. Filtering thing, what do the kidneys do? Well, they filter out toxins from, the water that we're processing. So this is also a lot about you filtering out the toxic thoughts, the toxic distractions, or things that could be in your life. Right way up, this is an excellent time to investigate any form of psychic work that you feel drawn to, provided that you are acting with the best of intentions for everyone concerned, and that you ensure that you are psychically protected. So this to me really complements the sacred space card, which is taking time for the sacred rituals. And especially if you're in the Northern Hemisphere like I am, it's getting dark very early, it's getting colder. So it is a wonderful time to be working on those rituals from your home space and working with your altars and your meditation spaces. Now we also had acacia, so let's see what this one has to say. This one, right way up, trust that you are being given the support and protection that you crave. Even if you are not yet aware of this, your sensitivity is heightened at the moment, giving you deep insights into the world and people around you. It says the acacia was an important tree in ancient Egypt, and its wood was used to make coffins, furniture, and boats. The sacred barge of Osiris at the Temple of Thebes was also made from acacia. Osiris was originally a nature god, but later became the lord of the underworld. The ancient Egyptians wanted to achieve life after death, so they could be reunited with him. The acacia tree guarded the mummified body of Osiris while his soul embraced the universe. In Hawaii, the leaves of the acacia are laid on sick beds to encourage the patient to sweat. So there is a bit of that energy too of like sweat, detoxification, but also just that you are somewhat sensitive right now, but you are being also psychically protected against what could cause you further harm. So there's a message here too about like, if there's a King of Wands figure in your life that was coming to mind when I was talking about this, okay? If this person is showing resistance to kind of aligning with you or being with you, it might actually in some strange way be a form of psychic protection, because perhaps they have a lot that they're going through and their resistance is because they know they're going through that and they don't want to involve you in it or project that stuff onto you. So, there's that expression like rejection is God's protection. Now, it could be too that like this space that you take from this person, place, or thing with this Four of Swords, it's allowing you that space to kind of like shore up your vibration and like psychically feel like you're strong to move forward with whatever this person, place, or thing is. Okay. Let's get a little bit more here for you guys. So I'm gonna go all out. It's Sagittarius, so why not? New moon in Sagittarius, I should say. I've got runes for you, and I've also got my astro dice. And we usually like to roll 3 times. So we do have Neptune and Virgo here. Okay, Neptune and Virgo, two completely opposite energies. Virgo is ruled by Mercury and it relates to precision and accuracy. Neptune relates to Pisces and it's about the unseen, the subconscious, like the energy that's all that is, like the ocean. And then we have the 11th house, which is the house of Aquarius, which relates to technology and social groups, friendships and groups at large. So there could be a little bit of healing and cleanup work going on in terms of the friendship groups in your life or the communities or groups you belong to. And part of this could be that you're syncing up with people that are more spiritually inclined. You know, this could be a dual message of like, if you're kind of like hyper focused on a particular friend or particular person in your life, because Virgo does relate to a sense of control and the mind, right? With Neptune here, it's saying that you have to just completely surrender this. And we do see that here with like this, the Four of Swords, which is about taking a rest, taking a break from it. So if there's someone in particular that's been coming to mind while I've been channeling this reading for you, this is just a strong message here about kind of like letting them go, even if it's just for now. You know, it could be just like maybe you do go your separate ways, or it could just be that like a break or space is needed. But there is this necessity right now to kind of like surrender this person, place, or thing. And it's interesting because you have Neptune, which is about surrender, and then you have the 11th house, which is Aquarius ruled, which is about detachment. So it's almost like a double message of like surrender and let go. Stop obsessing or focusing on it, just continue to surrender and let go. And in the meantime, work on raising your vibe, work on shoring up your own vibration about who you are, who you want to become, the energy that you want to embody, which is this Six of Pentacles, right? Which is equal give and take of energy. And we want people in our life that vibrationally match to us and that give back to us as we give to them. We want it to be an equal give and take of energy, right? We also have first house. Okay, so the first house is related to the sense of self and the self-identity. With this rhodonite here and the first house, it's like you could definitely be doing some emotional healing on your self-identity and just who you are. So just continuing to believe in yourself and like have that courage and that conviction about who you are as an individual without the energy of this person, place, or thing. And then we also have two runes here. So I've got to pull up my rune dictionary here. I'm actually going to unplug this guy. Hopefully this doesn't. Okay. So we have Hagalaz represents hail. It symbolizes nature, wrath, being tested, overcoming obstacles. Okay, that is this beautiful one here. And then we also have Rado or Rado represents a wagon. It symbolizes travel, rhythm, spontaneity, evolution, and decisions. Okay, so really interesting runes here. So I do see this as like yet more layers of what this reading was about, but kind of taking it even further. So, you know, with this energy here of like the hail, the being tested, when it's a hailstorm, like you don't want to go out there in a hailstorm, right? So this is saying that maybe like, I mean, literally, we are in some ways in an energetic storm with eclipse season. So this could be saying that maybe it's just not the right time yet to align with that person, place, or thing. And because there is that uncertainty about it, you could feel like you're being tested. You could feel like there's a lot of obstacles from the universe about this. But ultimately with this energy here of, you know, this one, which is about the wagon, okay? Travel, rhythm, spontaneity, evolution, decisions. I think that you absolutely will notice like that Wheel of Fortune card, you will notice things begin to move forward. And trying to see, because there's another message here that's trying to come through. Angels, what is the significance that you want me to share about this R? So I'm kind of getting the vibe that months, okay, so this is like a really weird and specific message, but there could be something here for some of you where it's like months that have a really strong naming presence with R's. Okay, so April, February, these will be really significant months for you in terms of times in which you're moving forward. Okay, so February is predominantly Aquarius season. April is predominantly Aries season. Okay, so Aquarius and Aries season could be really important for you in terms of forward movement in your life and achieving more of decision making and directioning. Okay, so as I'm recording this, we're in December 2021, right? So there could be still some kind of energy that's trying to settle itself, this energy of like hail, right? It's trying to settle itself, which makes sense why we got a little bit of that resistance vibe and that Four of Swords vibe with stuff, you know, saying that there still could be some stuff that's a bit unsettled, and some of it you're going to have to kind of put to rest, and others of it you can work on transforming, like especially if it relates to you as an individual. You have control over your own self, right? We don't have control over another person. So that's what I have for you, pile one peeps. Bit of an all over the place message, but you know what, Sagittarius is about tapping into multiple kind of thoughts and things like that. So it's somewhat in alignment with the current vibes. Please give this video a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Drop a positive, supportive, loving comment down below. I love reading how you guys relate to the reading, and just seeing your supportive comments makes me want to come back and record more videos. So please do that. Make sure that you're subscribed to my email newsletter, julieannfaye.com, for that. If you're not on that list yet, it goes out twice a month and it's got a ton of updates and magical things. And then, of course, donations are accepted for these readings, as well as I've got a Patreon with a give back fairy tier where you can contribute $5 a month to help me with managing my channel and help me raise funds so that I can put out more videos to Patreon members only. So please go check that out, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye. All right, pile two peeps, these are the cards for you. This was your crystal. It's a very, very magical blue quartz cluster, which is a very rare crystal to find quartz growing in this kind of blue and gray coloring. I think I've showed this off on my channel before, but yeah, this is a very, very special crystal to me. It's been helping me a lot with throat chakra healing, and it's very powerful. So let's see what you guys have going on. And if you watched pile one, or if you dipped into pile one, you would have seen that I was trying to show the spread a bit on the other camera in the way that I let you guys see it to pick. I personally feel like the vibe is just better, more aligned for me to just kind of lay them out in front of me and then hold them up and talk about them to you. But I'm still kind of configuring it. It's in a testing experimental phase at the moment. So we have, from the Wisdom of the Trees Oracle, we have you, Y-E-W, although it's funny that that's like you. Almost is a bit of a pun there. Let's actually start with this message right away. I'm very drawn to just start right with it. So this one says, this is a potent time of rebirth. I can so relate to this, and this was actually the pile I picked as I was pulling cards, although I always can relate to all the piles, especially at a later date. I go back and I listen to other piles. It says, this is a potent time of rebirth, in which you can shed parts of your life that no longer serve you and develop new activities and attitudes. It's also a time of stillness and contemplation as you reconnect with your spiritual beliefs. And it says, you, Deva message, okay? I can live for many hundreds of years. As my outer trunk gradually dies off, I will grow a new central trunk to supply food to my leaves and branches. I can show you how to regenerate your own life to gain new strength and resilience. And it says, the yew has many powerful associations with myth and magic. The ancient Greeks regarded it as a guardian of the soul, a belief that spread across Europe and led to yews standing as sentinels in burial sites and later in Christian churchyards. Some ancient Celtic tribes named themselves after the yew. The tree is central to Nordic legend too, as it is thought that Yggdrasil, the tree of life on which Odin hung for 9 days and nights, was a yew. The substance found in the yew's bark and leaves is a powerful anti-cancer drug. So it says this is a potent, of course, I always have to say disclaimer, I'm here, you know, to help inspire you guys and make sure you're always consulting your doctor and like not taking something literally as medical fact. This is a potent time of rebirth in which you can shed parts of your life that no longer serve you and develop new activities and attitudes. It's also a time of stillness and contemplation as you reconnect with your spiritual beliefs. So with the description of what it was about, I do get a little bit of like Hanging Man vibes, okay? So there could be some stuff here that's like, you are rebirthing and entering into a new cycle, but there's still a little bit of like a little delay, okay? And, you know, this could definitely be related to the moon cycles too, because we have this energy here in the background. And this to me looks more like a full moon. Right now, as I'm recording this for you, we're in a new moon. So you might be getting a lot more initiations in the external world with the upcoming full moon, okay, which will be in Gemini, if I'm not mistaken, in a couple weeks. And we do see definitely this energy here of some delays. Okay, no, none of us like to hear that, but it's definitely showing up, at least energetically, at the time of this reading. We do have, and I got these cards a lot myself recently, so I share your pain, but we've got not the right time and within the next few weeks, okay? Not the right time and within the next few weeks. So I do see this energy here of transforming and blossoming into this new cycle, but it might be that it gets initiated a lot more for you as we really move into more of like Capricorn season and beyond that. I will say too, at the end of this year, we've got Jupiter moving into Pisces for good this time. And the energy of 2022 is so much of a different energy because the nodes are changing signs at the beginning of the year. We've got Jupiter in Pisces, lots of good stuff cooking. I know I'm really excited about it. It's going to break up the energy a lot. Okay. So I think for pile 2 peeps, I'm in this with you. You know, there is this energy here of rebirth, but we've got to hang on a little bit longer because it's kind of like there's still a tiny bit of delays here. And we do have also justice here from the Fairy Tarot. So it's saying that things will work out fairly in the end. Okay. Things will be aligned. Things will balance themselves. It will work itself out. But as is the case, you know, with Libra energy, negotiations, partnerships, all that stuff, good stuff does take time. It does take time to kind of weigh out both sides and to have those key conversations to weigh it out. So this is, again, a little bit of like, it's going to take a little bit of time here, but it will work out fairly in the end. We do also have 10 of Swords, okay, which traditionally is like this really bloody and like really intense card. Here, I like it as almost like, I mean, this isn't a happy card, I should say, but this card, if there is a happiness about it, it's that you won't suffer more than what you've got going on right now. So it's definitely a card saying like it's not going to get worse than this. So if there are like fears, worries, and doubts because of these delays, this is saying just like believe in the fact that this cycle of whatever that was for you, that poverty, that pain, or whatever it is, believe that that is ending and that you are transforming into this new cycle. In, you know, a lot of the representations of the 10 of Swords, there is that sun that's just beginning to rise, indicating that there is this new dawn that's forming. What I noticed with this card is just that her energy is like very inward. You know, she's very like closed inward. She actually has some tears coming down. I don't know if you can really see that. But there is this energy of like, things are very closed in. Okay. So you might want to work on even like just, you know, opening yourself up, like opening up your heart chakra, you know, and a lot of the time when we've been badly hurt, we do close our heart chakras. We can bring that pain though that we've gone through, and we can kind of like put that pain out across all people and things and close off things that maybe have nothing to do with that pain. You know, maybe we had hurt and pain happen in a romantic area of our life, but from like a career or a friendship area, we have people that do want to show love and do want to connect with us. But if we're very like closed because of what happened over here, it can make it harder for us to open up over here. So I think definitely with Jupiter moving into Pisces, which will happen at the end of the very, very end, like close to New Year's Eve of this year, we ring in the new year with Jupiter in Pisces. And the next year is a huge Jupiter in Pisces story with some Jupiter in Aries, even at one point for a couple of months there. So there's going to be a lot more heart opening going on. So if you are someone that struggles with trusting in that heart opening, I know myself being like a super Virgo, you know, Pisces is my opposite sign. So that is something that I'm always learning about, is like how is it safe for me to open my heart and trust and believe in people and all of that, you know? So there is a lot more of that energy coming, which could be why we're getting not the right time within the next few weeks, because it's like energetically, once we start to go into that new vibe with that, you might find that like, wow, decisions get made, stuff starts to happen. Okay. And I think that these decisions and this energy that you're moving into, this is definitely you in your power. Okay. I know I can relate to this with some work and career stuff. So it says vast, independent. Your independence is a foundation for your strength and success. So beautiful. And then we also have acceptance. Okay. So right now I feel like the task is to accept that you are moving into this new cycle, and to also accept that your ability to be a strong individual, whether that's in a relationship, whether that's in your career, whether that's in a friendship group, or this could have so many applications, okay? But wherever this is for you, you probably know it as I'm saying it, but wherever this is for you, where you feel like, yes, that's my job, is to be the leader, to be independent, to be kind of the pioneer in that space. This is something I think that you're really, really accepting as a part of your self-identity and who you are. And I think you've kind of recently really come to this realization, but there's still a little bit of pain and worry around, how is this going to align? How is this going to work out? Am I going to be seen the way I want to be seen, etc.? And I think it's like, just wait, hang on a little bit longer, because I think you're going to see it's going to get better and better. And I think that you'll start to notice even like a subtle shift closer to the end of December. You'll start to see more of like, okay, yeah, this is good. Let's get a little bit of extra here. Also going to roll my Astro dice. I was joking with the previous pile, I think, that, you know, it's Sagittarius, new moon, so why not go all out with all the things? All right. You guys have Aquarius with Neptune and the fourth house. Fourth house relates to home and family. It's also about putting down roots. It's also your emotions, your sense of like emotional security and feeling emotionally safe and secure. Okay. I got put on some lipstick. Okay. You feel free to interpret that how you will, some other variation of that if that's like not your bag. But put on some lipstick. So taking time for like little beauty rituals, okay? With the fourth house, like what could be very emotionally supportive to you right now in this process of claiming your self-identity? And, you know, I had put on makeup for something I was doing earlier today where I was on video, and I was like, oh my God, I'm being seen so much today. And then kind of like redid my makeup a bit for these videos. And yeah, it makes me feel so good, you know, because it's like me stepping into my identity and who I am. And definitely beauty and aesthetic is definitely a part of who I am, because I have some strong Libra energy in my chart. So this is about those little beauty rituals, which can make you feel really good. And with Neptune, this is about just like a softening of the energy, surrender, Piscean vibes. And then with Aquarius, you know, Aquarius is fixed air. So just like softening your focus a little bit, where if it's like, letting go of kind of this vibe where it's like so hyper focused on the pain and the wounds and the sorrow, and just saying like, I release, I trust, I allow. Affirmation work could be really powerful for pile 2 peeps. Okay. I know it's been really powerful for me lately. And then the runes that we've got. So we have this one here, which is Jira, represents the year. It symbolizes cycles, completion, changes, harvest, and reaping rewards. So perfect. And then we also have this guy, which is Alges, represents an elk. It symbolizes protection, defense, instinct, group effort, and guardianship. So just popping back over here real quick. I totally see this as you guys reaping the rewards of a lot of hard work you've been doing potentially all year. It's like it starts to really, you start to really see the fruit of that labor as we get to the end of the year. You know, there was one pick a card I was watching and I was like, oh my God, that is so my truth. Please let that align. But she was just talking about how it's like you've been working on this all year, trying to get it going. It's been stop and start, super bumpy, tower moments galore. But it's like somehow at the end of the year, you get like at least one thing about it that's like, okay, yes. So this is definitely like reaping rewards. You see the results, okay? And it might not be like seeing the results in all of the colors and all of the variations, but at least one piece of it is, it has momentum enough that you feel like justice vibes, justice, you know? And then with this one, with the guardianship and elk, it's like you are protected in this journey, even though you are pioneering in this space and being a leader and focusing on your independence in this space. By no means does that mean you're alone. In fact, it means that you're just the pioneer and you're going to attract the right people, the right, you know, friendships, the right associations that are going to support you with this endeavor in moving forward. But there is absolutely an energy here of like claiming your rewards that you've been working hard on achieving. I know I can so relate to this, but it's kind of coming more so closer to the end of this year, and we're really close now. I'm recording this for you at, you know, the first week of December, so a couple weeks out, and that's what we've got here within the next few weeks. Okay, and like I said, just be prepared that it might not be like everything and anything, but I think you're going to get a sense of something that feels like, yes, justice. You know, this is actually one of my favorite cards in tarot, is the Justice card. I just love it because it's a card that doesn't speak to like pain and sorrow or happiness and joy. It's just very much like, yeah, you get what you put, you know, it's a card that talks about just like things working out fairly, you know, the energy being aligned, the energy being balanced. And I think that there's more coming for you guys with this. And I think you'll have something that you're really feeling good about related to that at the end of the year. But for now, focus on those beauty rituals, focus on loving yourself, okay? And you did have the blue quartz, so work with really powerful crystals that potentially do support you with the throat chakra, okay? So that's what I have for you, pile 2 peeps. Please give this video a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Drop a positive, supportive, loving comment down below. I love coming back to read how you guys relate to the piles and how they're helping and supporting you. It makes me feel so good to want to come back and record more videos when I see that love there. And just, it's so fascinating how I'm channeling something that I know I'm super relating to, but then other people are like, oh my gosh, this was my truth too. And I think that there's a lot of healing in that as well, seeing how even though we're so different, we're also united in certain energies and certain life cycles and patterns that we're going through. And then, of course, if you missed the beginning, I always encourage you to go back and listen from the beginning because I talk about a whole variety of things. But I do have solstice head readings that are coming out. Look in my email newsletter for more on that. And then I've also got my Patreon going now where you can join my membership groups or enroll in the Give Back Fairy tier where you can contribute $5 a month and help me with growing and managing my channel. It helps me so very much. Thank you. All right, pile 3 peeps, these are the cards for you. Pile 1 and pile 2 had some really powerful messages, so please make sure if you were slightly vibing on one of those piles, definitely go check them out because there was so much stuff that came in energetically via those piles. Really good stuff too. So let's see what we've got for you guys. I can already tell I want to pull a clarifier. And you guys had the crystal that was apophyllite. This is a beautiful apophyllite cluster. And apophyllite is wonderful for working with the crown chakra and connecting to your angels and just bringing in lots of purifying white light. And it's so bright that it's like almost struggling to get picked up, but yeah, love this little guy. So let's get a clarifier here for pile 3. Pile 3, another message here. Okay, so we have Saraswati, the arts. And I did cut the deck and I got Mawu, Mother Earth, you are called upon to help with environmentalism. So let's see what we get going on with this pile. So first of all, we have Snow Moon. Let me rewind that. Whew. Okay. First of all, we have Snow Moon Purity. So there definitely is potentially an indication of time, okay, with this reading where there's something significant for you happening with the winter season, potentially with a full moon. So this could potentially be the upcoming full moon in Gemini, but it could also be even beyond that, you know, looking into the full moons for January, February could be very significant for you. We do have Mary Magdalene, unconditional love. Love yourself, others, in every situation, no matter what the outward appearances may be. I love Mary Magdalene. I do work with her a lot as one of my Ascended Master mentors. We have the Willow card, but this came up in reverse. Okay, so let me get into the guidebook for that one. These are not numbered. They're like color coded by group. So it's a little bit of a different situation to find them. Here we go. Okay, Willow in reverse. A difficult person or situation is sounding a discordant note. Do your best to understand other people's point of view, even if you don't agree with them. You can lead by example, so show off your good nature. And it says, Willow gave a message. My roots spread far in their quest for moisture. My ancient connection with the moon will help you to enjoy harmony in your own life and to create peaceful, loving relationships with the people around you. And it says, all willows are renowned for their ability to root easily. They are associated with the moon and the feminine. Several Greek goddesses are connected with the willow, including Artemis and Hera. Belili, who is the Sumerian goddess of the moon and the underworld, was said to live in willow groves. In Celtic Europe, harps were made from willow wood. For centuries, infusions of willow bark were used to treat fevers, and the salicylic acid that this contains was eventually synthesized in aspirin. So I'm getting a message here of like, almost like chill out in a way, especially with like the ending about aspirin, which is about, you know, helping you relieve pain. So there could be someone in your life that's just like emotionally bugging you or irritating you. And this is just like a strong message about just like, send love to the situation, send love to the person, but don't feel like you have to get overly entangled with them. Okay. And with purity here, it's also interesting that she's got that veil across her eyes. So it's almost like a little bit of a message of like ignorance is bliss in this regard, because it relates to a person that's maybe bothering you that maybe you need to like detach from. This could be saying just like when they're negative, when they're cynical, when they're doing things that you don't like, and you know that you really don't have control over changing them is the key part of that equation. Do what you can to really try to detach, because there is a vibe here about like emotionally kind of getting caught up in it, you know, and in some way that emotionally getting caught up in it causes you a sense of pain. And I think that this is just saying like to just continue to detach and send love to your, like, love yourself, love them for their faults and their flaws, but also love yourself enough to feel like you don't have to get overly, that you don't have to stay in the same room with them. You don't have to stay on the phone with someone that is being that way. And it's just like draining you and fueling you with fear. You know, you may want to check out for those of you that picked this pile, you may want to look into working with the goddess Kuan Yin. There's specific oracle decks you can work with Kuan Yin, as well as the Egyptian goddess Isis, who's really powerful about being mothering and having boundaries. And she's also got an oracle deck, and there's a lot there too you could explore. I've done so much talking today. It's insane. Those of you, hopefully you watched the beginning, but I was talking about how this new moon is on my Saturn. So it's been like a lot with speaking and teaching and so many things. So we've definitely got a lot here about emotionally detaching from the situation and not getting like emotionally entangled in these people that do fill you with fear. Okay. It's really interesting because let me see if I can grab this book real quick. I totally just scared my puppers by accident. He's really not happy with me right now. I'm sorry, Monty. that all just happened in silence too. So yeah, there could be an energy to this where it's like this pain, this hurt, this like pissed offness is happening somewhat secretly or silently. There could be something about it like that. This book, I recommend this book when people are ready for it. Okay. This is a book that I read at the start of my spiritual awakening, and it's insanely powerful. It's called Return of the Divine Sophia, Healing the Earth Through the Lost Wisdom Teachings of Jesus, Isis, and Mary Magdalene. It's a super powerful book. It's by Trisha McCannon. It talks about basically like the evolution of the goddess through time, and a lot about like the divine feminine versus the divine masculine and the patriarchy, and it's got so much to it. Okay, so if you are someone that's wanting to understand more about the power of the goddess and the divine feminine, and I don't know why this was coming through, but for someone, this might be a book that you need to like look into doing more with right now, because it's a really powerful book. It could be too, because in the card pulls, we had like lots of goddesses coming up between Sumeria. We have, you know, I had Isis kind of coming through. We have Mary Magdalene, which is the kind of, she's kind of a combo of like ancient Egyptian as well as like Babylonian and stuff. So lots going on there. And we also have Hindu goddesses. We have Saraswati here. So with look for a sign and the arts, I see this as work on your creative passions right now. Work on developing beautiful art, beautiful music, creating things, bringing things into form. I think that's going to put you more in alignment with the universe and the signs that it's showing you about things that you want more of in this person, place, or thing. This could also be too an energy of music, okay? And as you connect to music, you might get guidance and messages through the lyrics that support you with this maybe emotionally jarring or difficult thing that you're going through, okay? Now from the tarot, we have like the Hierophant, and Three of Cups, which are two pretty opposite energies here. The Three of Cups, although I guess I could relate them together as, you know, the Hierophant can be related to mentorship and guidance, seeking spiritual teachers and wisdom. So Three of Cups for me, yes, it does have that celebration vibe, but Three of Cups for me is a lot about friendship groups, gathering together with like-minded souls and being happy and positive in that vibration. So maybe this is like an emotionally jarring or upsetting situation with a work colleague, or maybe like a romantic interest or something there. This is saying that look to the love, look to the support, look to the guidance in another life area where you do have other peeps, you know, that share your vibe, that see your worth, that support you. I think that's going to really lift you up here, getting together with those like-minded souls, even if it is just virtually. And I think in the process of connecting to music and the arts, as well as focusing on your friendship and your tribes and the supportive people in your life, I think it's going to help you to disconnect from the situation and really just detach from it with love. Okay. The Astro Dice. Let's give Monty a lot of extra snuggles after this. This is not happy with me. Although they say dogs don't really hold on to, they live in the moment, but I'll still get them snuggled anyway. So we have Uranus in the 4th house, okay, and Libra. So for sure, Libra is about peace and balance, okay, so seeking peace, balance. Also, Libra does relate to the arts, beauty. So again, we have that almost like dual message here about the arts and focusing on beautiful things, beautiful music, okay, things that bring more peace and beauty into your auric field. Super supportive to you right now. And look at how she's got her foot on the lotus. So she's in control of blooming even amongst maybe the muddy waters. She's in control of it because she's focusing on creating pure positive things in her life. And with Uranus in the 4th house, this definitely is a lot about, you know, detaching from situations maybe in your home life or with family that could be difficult or toxic, or, you know, worse than that even. And really just focusing on your own personal peace, your own inner peace is the way that you're going to move through this energy. Definitely with the holidays, you know, the holidays get a lot of hype. I'm not someone that's like super big on the November, December holidays, partially because I really prefer to follow the pagan holidays in the wheel of the year. So I do enjoy Yule, and I do like that vibration of, you know, Yule and kind of that Christmassy vibe with that. But there's also a lot of commercialism and a lot of hype and a lot of pressure that gets put on people during the holidays. And there's a lot of guilting that goes on too about like, you must do this with me, you must buy me this thing. So it's something that starts out as intending to be one way, but then can quickly become like pretty stressful. So this is saying that do what you can to detach and really just try to focus on the good music, the good positive experiences that do bring you that sense of peace. I think that's going to help you move through this energy and get out of it and really just like emotionally detach, you know, almost like turn a blind eye to these people that try to drag you down or guilt you or things like that. Okay. So I think I'm going to leave it there because that was pretty powerful. So I'm sending you love pile 3. Please give this video a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Drop a positive, supportive, loving comment down below. I love coming back and reading how you guys relate to the piles, and just the love that you share makes me want to come back and do more videos. So please drop some love in the comments. It really, really helps a lot, even just to help my channel be more seen and heard. And if you didn't watch the beginning, make sure you do so, because I talk about the new moon and some updates going on. And I've got solstice ahead readings that are for sale. This would be a good time to get one of those. You can use your private readings discount if you're in Fearlessly Fairy, or even if you're in Give Back Fairy, you've got a discount you could use there. And then I've launched a Patreon, so you can check that out. You can sign up for my membership groups from my Patreon, and there's also a Give Back Fairy tier on my Patreon where you can support me at $5 a month to help me with growing and managing my channel, which every video is like hours and hours of work. So I really, really appreciate that support. It helps me be able to continue making more videos. And I'd like to get more Patreons so that I can record special Patreon only videos. So please check that out. It means so much. And of course, you can also drop me a one-time donation. My PayPal is in the description. Sending you guys much love. Bye.